Hi, I'm Titus Cunningham, and I've been reading one of the great books. I want to tell you about Milton's Paradise Lost. Specifically, the whole book is a fall narrative. It's the fall of Adam and Eve in the garden, and how Satan creeps in and deceives Eve, and then Eve goes to Adam, and Adam falls out of the way that scholars talk about it is uxoriousness. He has an excessive fondness for Eve as a creature instead of loving the Creator. And so when we read the fall narrative in our Bibles, it's so familiar to us that I don't think we spend time to kind of contemplate what's going on. Why did Eve see the fruit as attractive? And then why would Adam choose to stay with Eve instead of loving his God? Like, it's so irrational. What Milton does is he gives us, again, just like as poets do, he gives us this huge imaginative landscape as to why Adam loved Eve so much and why she was such a good creation by God that Adam can get sucked into his love for her and tend away from God instead of looking at Eve as someone that as he loves her, he can love God more in his love for her. When you read Milton, you get to imagine how beautiful the garden was. He even goes back to how great the angels were and how serious of a thing it is that Adam fell away from God. And he gives you, you get to understand the depth of sin with a creature like Satan, and then how sin distorts even Adam and Eve's love for each other, which is something we don't get as much in the biblical narrative, but it's something that we see played out in our own lives, in broken relationships and such. So it helps us understand sin and the fall, but alongside that, Milton is so conscious of the redemptive narrative in the midst of all that. Like, God knew that Adam and Eve were going to fall. He willed and permitted that to happen for the sake of his greater redemptive mission, whereby he is glorified and creation is restored, to give us a kind of, like what Milton's doing, a good picture of God's glorious creative life and how that relates to creation.